Hello, so today I want to introduce the paper bead making studio. And what you make in this studio are little paper beads that we string up to make a necklace or a bracelet. So the mini studio looks like this. It's in a bin with the supplies that you need. So you'll open up the lid. You'll need a bamboo skewer. These will be reused, so do not throw these away. You'll need one of the papers in the bag. You can pick one that you like. Pick one that, some have a front and a back, and some just have one side. So pick one that you like. You'll need a glue stick. You will need some goose paper. Goose stands for good on one side. So this is a mistake. This is the side. We can use, honestly, with this, you could use either side. I'm going to use the white side. And then you'll need the wire and the bead, paper bead drying rack. You will also need a cup of thinned glue with the black line and a stiff bristle brush. You can find these two items in the collage studio. All right, so what you're going to do is, if you have a paper that only has one side, you're going to put the side that you want down, facing down. So let's say this paper has two sides. So I like the polka dot side, so I will put the polka dot side down. Now, most of the strips are cut in these long, skinny triangle shapes. That is so that you have more of a rounded bead, and you start at the wide end and work your way to the small end. If you pick a strip that's just a rectangle, it'll be more like a cylinder and less like a sphere. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll my bead, make this bead. And what you're gonna do is put your bamboo skewer at the big end, and you're gonna twist this around the bamboo skewer nice and tight. Now, before you go any further, you're gonna need the glue stick, and you're gonna run glue across this. And this is why we have the goose paper, so that the glue gets on the paper and we can just recycle the paper and it doesn't get on the table. And what we're doing is we're trying to roll this tightly till we get all the way to the end where the smallest part is. And you're going to get some glue on your hands, and you want to try to manipulate this to roll this nice and straight. You don't want it loose or crooked. I think it's easier just to roll it on the paper like this, but you might want to do it in your hand. I think this is the easiest. So this is why we use the skewer. So I'm at the end. I'm going to wiggle back and forth a little bit. Now you can see that end is not glued. It's sticking out. So I'm going to put a little bit more glue on there and try to roll that one more time. All right, so that worked out really, really nice. So there's my bead. I'm going to give it a little time to get the glue to get sticky and hold it there, and then you just gently pull this off the skewer. Slide it. Now, if you don't have this glued real tightly, it's going to come undone and become this long spiral paper piece, so you don't want that to happen. And if you look at my bead, it's kind of long on this end and short on that end, so the paper was probably cut a little bit crooked. So if you don't like that, you could take some scissors and try to trim that off, but I think that uniqueness, that imperfection is what makes this bead beautiful. So I'm just going to set this aside, and I'll do my next bead. So I will take the wide end, wrap it around the bamboo skewer, and now I'm going to run some glue, and then I'm going to twist this. Okay, and so that one was sticky enough, the little tail got stuck good. So now I'm going to pull this off the bamboo skewer. And now what I want to do is I'm just going to make 2 beads. You'll probably want to make like maybe 10 beads, maybe 8 beads to make a bracelet. I'm just going to make 2 beads to show you. So this, I make sure the cap is on it nice and neat. I put that back in the bin. This skewer, bamboo skewer, gets put back into the bag of the bamboo skewers so someone else can use it. And so now I need to cover this with the thinned glue. It'll give it a shiny coating and it'll keep it stuck together, and it won't come apart. So what you do for that is you put it on one of these wire strips. You don't leave it on the bamboo skewer, because if we do the thinned glue on the bamboo skewer, it's going to stick to it. But the thinned glue will not stick to this wire. So you're just going to thread the bead onto the wire. You're going to get some glue and you're just going to coat this bead, and it's going to spin on you, which is good because you want to get all the sides of it. And notice how I'm doing it over my placemat because the glue is dripping. It's thinned glue, so it's not going to be super thick. We wouldn't want it super thick. And it's okay if you get some glue onto the wire, because the bead will still come off the wire because it's a slick surface. So you just cover this with the thinned glue. Kind of looks like a milk coating, like you painted some milk on there. And then this drying rack is exactly what it's for, bead drying. So you're going to take your wire and place it in one of these teeth on the side of the box, one of these teeth here. And you'll want to make sure that your beads are not touching each other. So I just, instead of touching with my fingers and getting glue on my fingers, I just use my paintbrush. So hopefully you could fit 4 or 5 beads on one wire, so somebody else could do a different wire, and we could have more beads drying. Now here's the question: how are we going to know these are your beads? Well, your best bet is to use masking tape. What you would do is you would take a piece of masking tape, and I'll put a roll of this in the studio, and you're going to write, probably with a Sharpie because Mrs. Jackson's eyes are so old. You're going to write your initials and the day you have art. It's 5ABC, 4ABC, 3ABC, whatever it is, write your code, and then maybe tape this to the end of the wire. And then in the morning, when I come in the next day and see it's dripping onto the box, which is good, we definitely don't want it to drip. And I have a tail here that's starting to pop off and come off the bead, so I need to push that back down. I probably need to hold it there for a little bit. But you're gonna let that glue drip into the box, and your name, your initials will be taped to the end. And then in the morning when the bead is dry, I'll pull the beads off and I will put your initial tape, I'll pull the tape off the wire, and I'll put that and your dried beads into a little baggie for you so that you have them next class and you can string them up in a bracelet or necklace. Alright, so once you've completed your beads and you're ready to string them up into a bracelet or a necklace, you're going to get some elastic thread. So it's stretchy thread. And so if you're going to do a bracelet, you want to wrap it around your wrist 2 times. So wrap it around, find the end, so that's 2 times around my wrist, and so that's where I'm going to snip it 2 times. Your necklace, you would just decide how long you want your necklace to be. So this is my bracelet. It's 2 times bigger than my wrist, and that's so that we have plenty of string left over to tie it. So you're just going to thread your beads in whatever order you like onto the elastic thread. And you want to be careful not to have it come off the other end of the thread. And then you're going to take and tie this in a knot. So you're going to tie around once, and you want to pull that so that it's close to the beads. And then you're going to tie it a second time. And then you're going to pull the tails, but you're also going to pull this part too, where the beads are. So you're going to pull the tails and the string inside the beads. So you're going to push and pull that really tight, as tight as you can. And then you're going to bring it to me, and I'm going to put a special dot of glue on there, and right there. But you'll want to trim your bunny ears, and then bring it to me. I'll put a little dot of glue there, and it's flexible glue, so it'll always stay flexible. And then there you have your paper bead bracelet or necklace. So I've got some elastic between the beads there because I didn't tie as tightly, as closely to the beads as I wanted to. So you might want to make sure you tie closer to the beads. So I just pulled that undone because it wasn't glued, so I could get it apart easily. So I'm pulling really, really tight, and then pulling tight there too, okay? And so look at all that. Look at my bunny ears, how big they are now. That's how tight I needed to pull before. So what you'll want to do is snip your bunny ears, maybe not super close to the knot. Bring it to me. I'll put a little dot of glue. You want to let that glue dry, and then you can take the bunny ears and slide them into the bead. And then look, you can't even see that elastic, and then you'll pull it on. And see, now look at that bracelet. You can't really see the elastic through there, so it looks really, really nice. And that's how you create a paper bead bracelet or necklace.